Welcome to AU-EU Advocacy Network. The reason why we formed this Advocacy Network is to try and raise awareness to the African people so that they know what is happening within the African Union and also with the European Union. According to the survey we did, we find that most of our people from Africa, they don't know what is happening within the African Union. Hence, it involves our day-to-day life. There is a lot to do with our day-to-day lives. Right now, the African Union, they are working together with the EU. They are working on a program, which they say, which is mainly on 8 key areas. It started in 2011 up to 2012. They are working on those 8 key areas. I'm just going to say a little bit about those 8 key areas, but I don't have to say, I'll only mention 4 of them, then my colleague Dave will do the other areas. Before I do that, I just want to highlight the situation here in Europe. That right now we have quite a number of children who are born here in Europe, who are now European by citizens, but hence they also belong to Africa. So we need to try and pass on this information to this young generation so that they know about the African Union, because they are the future leaders of the African Union as well. And also they have to keep in touch with the other part of the continent, Africa, so that they know the culture of their forefathers, ancestors. They need to know about the culture in Africa, because our culture is also part of our inheritance. So there is a need for us to pass on that information to this young generation. So back onto the 8 key areas. The first one is peace and security. The second one is democratic governance and human rights. The third one is millennium development and goals. The fourth one is regional integration and trade and infrastructure. Now, if you look at the first one, the peace and security, you find that we have quite a number of refugees here from Africa who are here in Europe. So if there was peace and security in all these African countries, we wouldn't have have this big number of refugees who are here in Europe. So there is a need to support what is being done there with the African leaders, because they are trying to work on these 8 major key areas to try and change Africa to be a better world. Also, I just want to add on something on the people in diaspora, because the African Union, they said they need to incorporate the people in diaspora so that they contribute back to the African continent. I just want to read this article for the people in diaspora so that they know what is being done by the African Union. This article, it says, role of diaspora to Africa. This Constituent Act of the AU declares that it shall invite and encourage the full participation of the African diaspora as an important part of our continent. In the building of the African Union, the African Union government defined the African diaspora as consisting of people of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. So this is a very, very important information for the Africans who are here in diaspora, so that they can take advantage of this thing, so that they take on board on this Advocacy Network. Also, on the democratic governance, democratic and good governance, human rights, I just want to mention up something there. You see, the first African country to be independent, it was Ghana. That was 1957. So the whole idea was to try and, liberate Africa to become, United States of Africa. But since from then, we have just witnessed very few African countries which have managed to practice, democracy. Yeah, Nyerere was also the cornerstone of, to see Africa, leading by examples, also to try and liberate most of the African countries to practice democracy. So we need to try and, support, what is being done by the African Union, because they've got a vision of, a better Africa. And also, Dave, if you look at it in Africa, we are one of the, richest continents. We've got gold, we've got diamonds, we've got uranium, we've got platinum, we've got oil.
Natural environment.
Yeah. Or even if the Americans or Europeans want to go for hunting, they go to Africa. You see, so we are one of the richest continents. Yeah. However, I just want to leave, the other areas for my colleagues to explain more about the 8 key areas.
Yeah. So thanks very much, John, for that. The other areas that we have in this joint strategic plan between the European Union and the African Union is the area of environment and climate change, the area of mobility, immigration, and then there is the whole area of science and technology, information society, and there is also cooperation to conquer the space so that it can be beneficial for human development both in Europe and in Africa especially. Now, looking at this joint program between the European Union and the African Union, which began in 2007, is very interesting. It's a very good opportunity for Africa, because here is the European Union working with Africa, and it's very good because the European Union is one of the successful organizations that has brought a lot of development here in Europe. They've managed to work very well with the national governments, and that cooperation has brought a lot of benefit to the continent of Europe. Even now with the economic crisis, you find that the European Union is working very well with the national governments to try to solve the problem and bring economic stability in Europe. So the fact that they are going to be working hand in hand with Africa in this joint strategic plan is a really good opportunity for Africa. And in this joint strategic plan, which began in 2007, is that there is a very important stress and focus that people should come on board and participate. So the fact that some of us are here in Europe is a very good opportunity, because then we can participate actually from here in Europe to try to push this joint strategic plan between Europe and Africa. Now, talking about participation, I think this time as Africans we need to really take this thing serious, because the problem with all the programs that, as you mentioned, the Nkrumah had, Nyerere had, all those programs that these independent African leaders had, they failed because Africans as people, we did not participate in them. So this time we have opportunity to participate, and I think it's time we come on board and participate. So the key word that we would say as we form this European and African Union network, awareness network, is that we need to come on board as Africans to participate. And this is why we are forming this association, to make you aware of this program and to invite everybody to come on board and participate.
You and I, Dave, let's make Africa a better world.
In fact, we can make it indeed,
yes,
and we welcome everybody to come on board, and we can bring this thing forward. Thanks very much.
Thank you.